Welcome to Gamebox Daily, I'm Dom.
And I'm Sippy.
Big news in the gaming space as Borderlands developer Gearbox Software is now part of the Embracer Group. The holding company includes publishing developing studios, THQ Nordic, Saber Interactive, Koch Media, Deep Silver, and Coffee Stain Studios.
CEO Randy Pitchford, the founder of Gearbox, stated, "This is not merely a stimulant for the talent of our employee-owned company, but a propellant for the exciting future we have planned." According to a range of sources, this deal will enable the expansion of talent at Gearbox Studios, the creation of a new Gearbox studio, and expanded partnerships. Gearbox Entertainment's 550-person team will join the Swedish group's 5,500-strong workforce. Randy Pitchford will remain head of the company when the deal completes.
As part of that growth plan, Embracer intends to collaborate with Gearbox on all fronts by assisting with development, publishing, and the handling of key franchises, and noted the deal could also pave the way for further mergers and acquisitions in North America.
Embracer said that through the merger, Embracer onboards one of the leading independent companies within the games industry, with proven experience of creating long-lasting franchises and delivering strong original content. Gearbox will become the 7th operating group and continue to operate as an independent studio focusing on premium, interactive gaming experiences.
Embracer Group, based in Kartland, Sweden, was previously known as THQ Nordic AB. The parent company boasts 57 internal game development studios and more than 200 owned franchises, including Saints Row, Goat Simulator, Dead Island, Darksiders, Metro, MX vs ATV, Kingdoms of Amalur, Time Splitters, Satisfactory, and Wreckfest.
Additionally, Embracer announced 2 additional acquisitions on Wednesday: Aspyr Media, acquired through Saber Interactive, and EasyBrain, a mobile game development that specializes in puzzle and logic games.
As for the future of Borderlands series, as well as the company's other big franchises, immediate plans for those properties were not shared with the announcement. It was confirmed, however, that 2K will stay as the publisher for the Borderlands games. So, quite the year for big acquisitions. We saw Microsoft buy Bethesda, and this one kind of slipped on by with Embracer now getting in on the Borderland action. So, when you heard this news, first of all, what did you think, Sippy? How did it make you feel?
So, I kind of have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Gearbox. Obviously, I love Gearbox because of Borderlands and all of the fun times that I've had playing Borderlands and its various DLCs. Several of which have been pushed out by one of the other acquisitions we mentioned, which is Aspyr Media, being also consumed here. But also then there's the hate side of things, Colonial Marines.
Yes, I only know.
I still haven't forgiven.
Yeah, sometimes it fades away to the back of my mind, just the debacle of like how cool Colonial Marines looked on the trailer compared to the utter disaster that it's released. But in terms of so Gearbox now going over to Embracer, what I'm really hoping for this is that like Gearbox, like their developers and their staff get such a much better quality of life. Because when Borderlands came out, the whole debacle around the bonuses and like people having to work extra hours and all the crunch times, and Randy Pitchford as much really just like not being a particularly morally high guy. Like there was the whole thing about the Epic exclusivity bonuses just mysteriously disappearing into people's accounts. So I really hope the workforce they get a much better experience. But the other thing is that I was wondering, I couldn't find anything on who's going to get creative control. And my general feel is that Embracer want to get their hands into the mix on this, because they've already stated that they're going to be giving extra developers supporting with publishing, and if that means that we get more Gearbox IPs sooner and better, and a much better release experience, I am all for this. Like they have done some really great games. Like I laugh about Goat Simulator. It was very memeish, but it was a fun game. And the same, like Metro, absolutely fantastic. Darksiders, really, really, really good. So there is I think there's a massive opportunity here for us to see some really, really cool things come out of this.
Absolutely. That list of games, franchises that now like fall under this greater umbrella, well over half of those are ones that I've absolutely loved either playing or watching other people play. So like they're in good company, and I think that you're right in the because they did say that Gearbox will continue to operate independently, and they're just, you can glean from that they're there for like additional support where is needed. So you'll maintain creative control, but if you need more devs so that we don't crunch every one of you, or you need that extra little push to make publishing day cool, that's what we're here for. At least that's what I'm hoping it is, because I'm with you on this. Like, as someone who's eventually wanting to get into the games industry, like anything that lightens that load on those devs, because crunch shouldn't be a thing. Like there's an understandable amount of it, but the better option is always just push the game back, let the devs breathe, because back when we started playing video games in like the 90s, release dates weren't quite, street date wasn't as important as it is now, so devs could kind of stretch their legs a little bit and breathe, and it's become a multi-billion-dollar industry, so we can't let people breathe now, and that's not cool. So let them breathe, let the acquisitions happen so they get that extra manpower, so that the devs can like not have to work 300-hour weeks. There aren't even that many hours in a week, but still.
There we go. So lots of good things come out of this. Let us know what you think of the acquisition. Are you excited? Are you worried about anything? Do you think they will finally be able to get a leash on Randy Pitchford? All these questions and more, let us know in the comments below. But we'll be back in the week with more news and updates. Thank you as always. Goodbye from Zippy and me.